That's why we have her here. Thank you once again, Mullen. All right, so as you see, a simple intervention, a very simple thing to do, a simple exercise with some repetition actually had a really big change. And if you were noticing, the first time I asked him, do you feel the difference? He said yes, and I knew he wasn't really. Who else thought, well, he's not really there. He's kind of playing along. Who else thought that? Good. But the second time after we did all this, I said, do you have it now? He got it, right? Do you have it? Yes?
Yes.
Yes, he does have it. What would you say to him? Like, what? His question is, what if you practice wrong and you screw it up? What would your answer be to him?
I don't think you can practice it wrong.
I don't think you can practice it wrong. It's that simple. See, once again, I'm going to treat you to my wonderful drawing abilities. Did you bring me a cup of tea, dear? That's very kind of you. Okay, so. This is you. Oh, whoops, one too many. Okay, here you are. He sort of looks like Gollum, doesn't he? Or E.T. with a heart on. Farn. Okay. Okay, so look. So here's the idea. You're grounded in your body. You're grounded in your feet. Okay? You have an outward focus of attention. Right? Your internal dialogue, you're quiet in your mind, and you're sort of like radiating outward and seeing, you're radiating outward while at the same time grounding down. You're radiating out while staying grounded into the ground. I used to have a fear that being I'm actually a very joyous kind of ADD up here kind of person. I used to think that was turning women off. And until I realized, as long as I also stayed grounded in my feet, I could be as up here as I wanted to be. It would not be interpreted as being a girlfriend. I could still come off as male and be joyous and happy. Have any of you guys ever worried that being too happy and too joyous and too outwardly expressive would turn women off? Keep your hands up. Women, look around the room. I'm serious. Now I'm not joking. Keep your hands up. Women, as a lesson to you. Look at the men who have had fear that being joyous and fun and open with you would have made you look at them in a way where you would find them unattractive. That's a pretty common fear. So if you see men are shut down emotionally, it's because many of them think that's what you respond to. Many of you, in some ways, have. But I'm saying you can be as happy as you want as long as you're also grounded here. I don't mean this in some metaphysical way. I mean literally having some contact with your feet. Do you get me?
Yes.
We get you, sir. Yes.
Yes. We're discussing during the break one thing about the routine that you demonstrated. In fact,
Where are you from?
Portugal.
Portugal. Good.
At one time, he was when you said that if he could go back to the old state of feeling tension in the body. He said he couldn't.
Right.
We actually were discussing if the fact that the girl was with him and starting to flirt and seduce him, could it be that he was drawn into a state of arousal, so he couldn't?
No, that's just it. He was controlling the arousal. Ask him.
Yeah, we're
his
discussing
objective
that.
was already achieved. His objective was to chat her up. She was giving her.
No. You missed it. She was doing everything she could to turn him on. You didn't see it? I was feeling it. I was feeling the heat come off her body. She was doing everything she could to get him hot and bothered, but he was staying grounded in his feet and not being flustered by it, correct?
That's right.
That you missed the point. You sort of missed the point. It was about controlling his state. She was doing everything she could to get him turned on and flustered, and he was able to control the sexual excitement, absent grabbing him, by the ball. Do you get it?
Yeah, I understand, but just the fact that he couldn't go back to the old state, was it because he was convinced, because of the charisma?
No,
because of the
no, it had nothing to do. He gave his brain enough examples of how to stay in the state that works best that his brain went, okay, now I know where to
You
go.
only need repetition to make it permanent.
I don't know how many repetitions we'll need. My sense is all he needs is
But I agree with you, because with me it was some time. It took some time to sediment things on the.
do you understand?
Right.
I don't know how many repetitions it will take, but I already know. It's not my job to get him there. My job is to get him moving in the right direction, a new direction that's magnificent. And then he has to keep pulling on that new direction so he gets it where it wants to go. Do you understand? But I gave him, certainly it's better than where he was, where he had no awareness and no choice. Now he has awareness, he has choice. He's had a very convincing, a powerful ratification, if you will use the technical, okay? What better ratification for a client than their own experience with someone who's doing their best to get him into a state that he's used to, which is sexual over-arousal, and it's not happening. Do you understand? He's got a ratifying experience to draw upon, and you know as a trance worker, the client has to have it ratified in some way for themselves. You understand that? Now do you get it?
Yeah.
Okay, he does get it. Don't worry, it's hypnotist jargon. Sleep. Okay, so the whole idea is you're grounded in your body, you're radiating your attention outward, and you're somewhat more quiet in your mind. From there, we can go back to bouncing the ball. Now, tomorrow, I like to fractionate. I like to start a subject, veer off, and then pick it up later. Start it, veer off, and each time I pick it up again, you have a little bit more understanding, a little bit more understanding. I don't teach in a linear fashion, and for you teachers, I suggest that you not teach in a linear fashion. I suggest you start something, do a little bit, go on to something else, then pick up that other thing, add something to it. Either you add an exercise or a story or an explanation or something. You want to present the same thing in different ways. You want to present it as a story, as working with one student, as doing a group exercise. You want to do repetition because it's going to go in through different channels, and one of those channels is going to hit. And my fun spot as a teacher is to see, oh, it didn't go in through that format. It didn't go in when I told a personal story, but when I did a drill, it went in. It didn't go in when we did a drill, but when a student came up and told his story, oh, it went in there. You need to present it in different formats because one of the formats is going to slide right under or past or through someone's resistance. So I just gave you something. If you really process it, it'll improve your skill as a teacher. It took me 20 years. This is 20 years I'm throwing your way. Yeah? How many people are really bored right now? Tell the truth. Come on. Okay? How many people are thinking, this is not what I came for. I want to know what to say to women to get laid. I promise I'll tell you that. I promise. I will. You are such a good guy. The real secret to getting my material is to bring chocolate to Malin. If you bring Malin chocolate, there's something about that act that will open up the gates for you and everything will go easier for you. So I expect to see chocolate on that table tomorrow and Sunday. How's that, Malin? Yes. Stephanie, speak to me in Finnish. I understand it's like Hungarian.
You really want me to?
I'd like to hear some of it, please.
Hei, on tosi kiva olla täällä.
Okay.
Täällä on tosi paljon ihmisiä, että sä et varmaan ymmärrä mitä mä sanon.
Wow. Mekka leka hai, mekka haini ho. Oh yes, what can I do for you?
I'm just wondering, so is this a seminar about teaching men how to get laid or to help them develop relationships?
Yes. First of all, in reality, it's a seminar about personal transformation for and through success with women. However they choose to define that success. This is not a weasel answer, although it is kind of weaselly, also is true. It is not my job. If someone's sitting in a dungeon and I rip open the dungeon door and crush it, it's not my job to tell them what to do once I set them free. If a guy is stuck, and he's stuck in his head, and he has a very narrow range of emotional responses he can offer a woman. He can be agreeable, but he doesn't know when to be commanding. He can be agreeable, but he doesn't know how to show genuine curiosity. He can be funny, but he doesn't know when to be really, really forward physically. He knows when to caress your cheek, but he doesn't know when it's time to pull your hair and give you a good spanking. He's stuck. My job is to unstick that guy and give him a broad range of choices. Now, hear me out. Really listen. It's an amazing question when I hear this from women, because there's something inside of that question that I think women don't see. Think of a fish that's swimming around in a fish tank. The fish doesn't know it's looking at the world through water, because it lives in water. Women usually don't have to worry about, hello.
Hi.
You're all a bit late. Women, just come on in, don't make a fuss. Women, generally speaking, don't have to worry about getting a man into bed. See the girl in the back of the room? Women usually don't have to worry about getting a man into bed. It's not a problem. For a man, unless he knows how to present these various different aspects, he's not only not going to just get laid, he's not going to get a relationship either. Unless the man knows how to evoke these feelings of attraction and desire and investment in that desire, he won't get a one-night stand, he won't get a relationship. You know what he's going to get? Listen, the men are going to tell you. Ready, guys? Let's just be friends. Say it again. Friends. Let's just be friends. When a man hears that, that's like you. If you woke up one morning and you had 30 pounds of fat magically glued to your thighs, your ass, and you had a mustache you couldn't shave off. That's what it feels like to a man inside when he hears you say, let's just be friends. And when he meekly says, okay, his soul dies. It's a laughter, but it's a laughter of pain. There's pain in that laughter. Am I right? There's pain in that laughter. I teach with a lot of humor because there's a lot of pain. And it's a good way to get past the humor, or get past the pain, is to use humor. But the fact of the matter is, there's a lot of pain in there. So what I want to say to you is, I want guys to have the choice. I want guys to have the choice. If they want to have a one-night stand or date a lot of women. I had a student many years ago who is a very, I almost said rigid, an Orthodox Catholic, very religious. And he wanted to find his wife. He was a virgin. He was determined he was not going to lose his virginity except to his wife on his wedding night. Now, I don't think that's any more or less admirable than a guy who wants to, frankly, go through women like Kleenex. It's all the same thing to me, provided everyone knows what's going on, no one's lying, no one gets hurt, no one's harmed, fine. It was not my job to say to him, what are you, crazy? What's this Catholicism thing? But as far as I know, he found that woman. But he wanted to be able to attract and date lots of women, so he made the right pick. One minute, I do see you. I will take your Fraga, whatever. You hear my point? So that's my answer. My answer is yes. Yes, please.
It's maybe a little dangerous to say this, but I think you're wrong. Because
That's never dangerous. You just get a voucher for a pint.
it's just not true.
What part? Oh, we can't hear her. She says she thinks I'm wrong, that it's just not true. Please continue. First of all, a round of applause for someone who actually says I'm wrong. I'm serious. Usually I just hear it from the Swede back there all the time, but please continue. Say what you want to say.
For me as a woman,
Yes.
I have the same problem.
Which?
Yeah, when I want to go out and find somebody.
Okay, so you're saying you have the same problem. I will acknowledge that as being true, and listen to what I'm saying. For many women in many cultures, it's just not that big a problem to find sex somewhere. Let me put it to you this way. Rika, yes? If I said to you, look, go out tonight to one of the bars and get one of the guys to go back to your room with you, and I'll give you 500 British pounds, you'd be able to do it. I don't care if, I'm not saying go find the love of your life, but find some guy who will shtup you, to use the, you would not be able to do it. Wow. You'll do it? Okay. Well, with some exceptions, and we'll solve that problem for you, I promise. She's a student, you pigs. Although I shag my students if I want to and they want to. It's happened before. Listen, I acknowledge this, but I would say for the majority of women in most cultures, it's really not that difficult to get laid. Okay? I acknowledge your truth and your circumstance, and I'm saying for most women, it's not really, you would agree with me in your circumstance, it's not really a problem if you want to find a guy just some guy to take you home. True?
It's probably easier for women.
Yeah, a lot easier. A lot easier. Because men are dogs. Well, we would hump a tree if we knew we wouldn't get splinters. Some of us would still hump the tree if it had nice boobs and lied to us. They're still deciding, do they want to stay or go? Right? We only have I'm only going to go like another 20 minutes or so anyway, because I'm a little tired. But I'm smoking anyway, so. Okay, so listen to me. So that first 20 minutes, see how I'm bringing it back now to that, let's talk about that first 20 minutes. So assuming we're in the right state of mind, we're in a fun learning frame, we're grounded in our body, the meaning we give it is we're just going to go have fun and see what can happen. It's the only meaning we're going to give it. Okay? Let's go have some fun and see what can happen, see what we can make happen. Mom and dear, can I have another napkin, please? Thank you, love. We're just going to see what we can make happen, okay? Fair enough? That's the meaning we're going to give it. It's not, oh, I've got to go get that girl. Let's play, have some fun, see what we can make happen. Yeah? Okay? That's where we're going to start. Oh, I'm not going to sit there now. So, first thing we do, I believe that the Sarge, the pick up, the engagement, the encounter starts before you leave your house. It starts with, let's talk about practices and rehearsal. There's practices and rehearsal. Thank you. Tack så mycket, kompis. Excuse me. Okay. Practices and rehearsal. I define practices as anything you do in your life that has nothing to do with women that makes you healthier. You know, working out, eating right, meditating, doing those kind of things. It's nothing to do with sergeant, but it makes you feel better in your body, makes you healthier, calmer in your mind. Practices. Rehearsal is doing some things. I'm going to teach you a little bit, a simple self-hypnotic drill so you can put yourself into a little bit of trance and rehearse in your mind and then go through things vividly to create some new responses. There's practices and rehearsal, and then there's practice in the world, where you go out and practice, and then there's review. So it's practices and rehearsal. Practice, that's what you do in the world with women. Then there's your review. You've got to have a good review process, and then, you know, it goes around a circle. So, assuming you've done all that, there's just I want to keep it, I want you guys to get good at just 2 basic ways of approaching. I don't want you to have 10 ways or 15 ways, because then it becomes too complex. All you have to do is have just 1 or 2 good basic openers that work virtually anywhere. That's all you need. I don't want you to have 15 or 20. Just get good at 2 of them. Just get good at 2. And so mine is either being funny or evoking curiosity. And I'll give another one. Comment, question, so I like to say something funny. Something funny, and then I'll call myself out on it. I never just say something funny, I'll call myself out on it. For example, a stupid pickup line. Stupid pickup lines don't work, but stupid pickup lines that you comment upon and say, hey, that was pretty stupid, actually can work. For example, think of something really stupid like, are you from Tennessee? Because you're the only 10 I see. Right? That's incredibly idiotic and stupid and cheesy, right? That would never work, right? However, this has worked for me time and again, is to say something stupid like that. Are you Jamaican? Because Jamaican me crazy. And then I say, okay, that was really over the top and pretty cheesy. But when I saw you here, I thought, she probably gets approached 100 times a month. Let's see if she has a sense of humor and be fun to talk to. My name is. As soon as I say, okay, that was really over the top or that was really cheesy, but when I saw you, I thought, she probably gets approached 100 times a month. Come up with something different and see if she's someone who has a fun sense of humor. That makes it different. Why does it make it different? Because the minute I call myself out on it, the minute I say, okay, that was over the top, I'm now showing her that I understand. I'm now showing her, wait a minute, I know it was over the top. And then I say, but when I saw you here, I thought, she probably gets approached 100 times a month. Stop right there. Stop right there. She probably gets approached 100 times a month. What am I implying without saying? First of all, what am I not saying? Huh? I'm not saying I think she's attractive.
By implication.
I'm implying it.
Yeah.
When I saw you, I thought she probably gets approached 100 times a month. Say again?
Evoking curiosity, because why do you think that?
That's true too. Well, why does he think that? But it's an implied compliment. No, this would be wrong if I said, you know, when I saw you here, I thought, she's so pretty, she gets approached 100 times a month. Gag, get out of here. But I imply it. When I say you get approached, she probably gets approached 100 times a month. I'm not, that wouldn't be because she smells like a bus and is drooling. Obviously, I think she's attractive, but I'm not saying it. One of my rules of working with women is know when to imply things and when to state them directly. Too many of you are implying things when you need to be direct with that woman. And too many of you are being direct when you need to imply things. Knowing when to imply something, does everyone know what I mean by implying? Yes. It's not stated, but it's presumed. Knowing when to imply things with women and when to be direct, and when to go back and forth between the two so she doesn't know which one she's going to get. drives them bananas. It's really, really a powerful skill. It's also true in persuasion. Knowing when to be specific and when to be vague with people is incredibly powerful. Incredibly powerful. I guarantee if I wanted to, I could talk all of you into anything if I really had the time and I sufficiently motivated you to listen. Simply by knowing when to be vague and when to be specific. With women, knowing when to imply things and when to be direct. People say, do you believe in direct game or indirect game? I say, yes. Whenever I hear an either or question, I always know there's an and that the person is deleting from their map, which tells me there's a rigidity in their model that I can manipulate. When people are rigid and have a certain view, that means they have blind spots. Okay? If you and I are in a fight, and you are a really good fighter, but you've got a giant blind spot, and I can see 360, I just have to stay in your blind spot, and I'll beat you. So when people ask either or, I think they've got a blind spot. If I want to help them, if I'm their healer, then I'll go, I can use that to expand where the and is. But if I need to manipulate, I don't think manipulation is a bad thing necessarily. So listen to language. Listen for those either ors. Yes? Yes. Is any of this making sense? You're like, what? It makes a lot of sense. So where was I? Yes, question.
So how did you gain that skill?
You must listen to me. I'm going to magically, in the count of 3, put all my skill into you. Are you ready? Here it comes. You'll feel it flowing through my fingertips into your medulla oblongata. 1, 2, does everyone believe? Clap your hands, say, I believe in fairies. Oh, you guys are like watching paint dry. Say, I believe in fairies. I do believe in fairies. I do. How do you learn? You learn by doing. You learn by studying. You learn tomorrow and Sunday, you're not going to believe the absolutely brain dead, total glue-sniffing, retarded. You would have to be a brain-dead, glue-sniffing, completely retarded human being to refuse the offer I'm going to make you tomorrow about an opportunity to learn with me. But we'll wait till tomorrow. So where were we? Implied compliments. Knowing when to imply and when to be direct with women is really, really, really powerful. Sometimes you need to imply things to evoke her imagination. Other times you need to be direct to show that you're in command. Oh, you're thinking about this. I'm not playing with you or joking, but this is a concept that is getting through to you, is it not?
Yeah, I already know this concept. I'm thinking about the question, what would be the first step for the guys here to learn how...
Well, they're already learning by being here. They're learning by being here. There's more. But also, I want to finish the evening with this, about being specific and being vague. Let me give you an example. Being specific is giving facts, figures, data, information, right? I'm selling pens. The reason you should buy this pen, let me give you a few facts. First of all, this pen writes in ink that has been shown to be 30% more attention-grabbing than any other shade of ink, and only we sell it. Number 2, this pen is designed from all green, environmentally friendly material. Number 3, this pen will write 50% longer than any other pen on the market, and if you act tonight, it's 20% less expensive than any other pen on the market. That's why you should buy this pen. Specifics, right? Do you remember what I said, pretty much? What's some of what I said? Someone tell me some of what I said. It's what?
Vitamin recycled materials.
What else did I claim about this?
Tension grabbing color.
Huh?
Tension grabbing.
Tension grabbing color, what else did I say?
Exclusive to you.
Exclusive to me, what else? Okay, so you remember what I said, right? Do you believe any of it?
No.
Why not?
You're trying to sell it to
Exactly. Now, watch this. Are you ready? I love this. This is like doing a magic trick and telling you how the trick is going to work, and it still works. Okay? Some of you who studied me with me before know what's going to happen. Drum roll, please. You people are retarded. Efterbliven. Efterbliven, efterbliven. I'll never get the difference. Okay. When you think about what it is you really want in a writing instrument, and you allow yourself to really imagine just what that might be, I have no idea exactly what you begin to think about. But as you're doing that, I just want to say that before I present just what exactly it is about this wonderful writing instrument that'll get you most involved, most excited about it, before that happens, I want you to know that whatever it is that you think about that gets you the most intrigued, the most interested in something as simple as a pen, I want you to know as that's coming up, as I'm sharing this information, as we discover together what's so interesting and great about this pen, I want you to know that you should feel free to ask any questions you want, because after all, asking the right question is one way you can know that you're making a really good decision about something, because you're convincing yourself and taking your own word for it based on what it is that's true for you. Would you all agree with me on that tonight? Thanks a lot. Now, did I say anything specific at all? No. Huh? Pretty fucking vague, right? Do you remember what I said? You can't even remember what I said, can you? Beyond a word or two. Now, it's pretty emotionally neutral, but did any of you, I'd be surprised if you did, but did any of you find yourself actually thinking about what you want in a pen? No, because the pen's pretty, huh?
I couldn't take my eyes off the pen.
Well, but the pen got pretty interesting, didn't it?
Yeah.
Did it not? Yeah. Notice the other things I was implying. As we discover, as I share, as we discover, not I'm selling you, oh, it's not a sale, we're sharing and we're discovering. What does sharing imply? And notice at one point I said you can take your own word for it. What does that mean? Take your own word for it. You know, as you convince yourself that what it is I'm saying is true, you never have to tell me the reasons why you find that to be the case. You can keep that completely secret, or maybe you don't even need to know for yourself before you just decide, hey, why not? I'm going to do it anyway. Whichever it is, I want you to know, really want you to know, that you can find yourself feeling good for doing something that you want to do. Not because I tried to convince you, but because you yourself discovered that in this process there really is something here you want to get your hands on. So would everyone just reach for their wallet, Marlon will be taking the orders, and we're going to be selling these pens. Did I say anything specific?
In the end.
Huh? In the end. That's right. Vague, 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 call to action specific. Bingo. So, knowing when to be vague and when to be specific, knowing when to imply things with women and when to be direct, very powerful. I do have a course, by the way, in implying all this stuff for selling and making money. You can seduce the money out of people's wallets, as well as women out of their clothes. Same skill set, some different specific applications that you have to do. It's actually harder to sell. Yes?
Am I right to think that some people are more vulnerable to this sort of technique than others?
Are you right to think that some people are more vulnerable to this technique? Which technique?
The technique that you're trying to use, the vagueness and then...
No. Every human being is equally susceptible to vagueness.
Okay.
Nope. Now, some humans crave specificity. They want to be told specifics, but they're the ones who really are, that's the ones who are easiest to hypnotize or play with, because you just get more vague. You know, as you're sitting there thinking of all the reasons why you came to this event, and maybe even those reasons that you've yet to discover but are in the process of discovering, because I think you'll agree that the best learnings are not just when we learn what we set out to learn, but discover new things along the way that are even better. As that's happening, I'm not sure just what the signals are for you that'll let you know, wow, this really is the case. He isn't just playing with my mind, he actually is describing what's going on. And maybe you're not sure how that's happening or how much of one or how much of the other, but I just want to say, please, please, feel free to continue to participate just as you're doing now. Because your participation is only proof, only goes to show that what I say really is real and works. And I want to thank you for that. I feel greasy. Someone throw me a rag. but this kind of stuff works. It's like, it's a good question. Everyone is susceptible. I don't like the word susceptible. Susceptible implies you're doing something wrong. Everyone is responsive to vagueness. Everyone. In one way or another. Okay, so, yes. You've been to seminars before.
Yeah.
You've got to stop coming here.
Excuse me?
You've got to stop coming. I'm tired of you. No.
Well,
Your checks keep clearing, so I don't care.
I know that you get better with this if you train, but is there any specific or vague kind of drill
Is there any drill to get better at which part?
in this vagueness?
In being vague?
When you speak,
When I speak, it goes in one ear and out the other mind. Right?
no, it never sounds like it's trained, but probably, obviously.
He's saying, let me translate. He's saying, how does he get good at speaking in this way? It doesn't sound like it's trained with me. It sounds like it's natural. It's second nature to me. I can put it on. Well, we have an opportunity that we're not going to talk about tonight. Trust me. You would have to be a glue-sniffing, brain-dead, drooling, hunchback retard not to take this offer. But we're not going to make it till tomorrow and Sunday. Not that there's anything wrong with brain-dead, hunchback, glue-sniffing, drooling retards. If one of them's in your family, God love him. Or her. Or it. I'm getting to you with my, even you. Like, what do you, by the way, what do you do for a living?
I'm an engineer.
Engineer.
Aerospace.
For real?
Yeah.
Like E-R-O-S or A-E-R-O?
No, the proper one, not the...
Oh, the proper one. Oh, I just got duffed up a treat, didn't I? Like you work on aircraft, weapon systems, what?
I can't tell you.
Really? It's secret? Oh no, let me ask you this. Is it civilian or military?
Swiftly moving on.
Oh, okay. All right. I like that stuff. I think it's cool. I used to subscribe to Aviation Leak and Space Rumor. Okay, so I think that's it for tonight. Tomorrow we're going to commence with some drills, and then I'm going to go through that initial 20 minutes. And the wonderful, lovely Haley Quinn will be my guest speaker in the afternoon. Haley has grown magnificently. I don't mean size-wise, but in her abilities, and that's going to be cool. And if you haven't signed the right paperwork, see the boss in the back of the room, Miss Mullen. And thanks, it's been a great first night. I smoked it and didn't toke it. Thank you. Give yourselves. Wait. One more thing. Please do not go out, Sergeant. Do not go out drinking. Get a good night's sleep. We're going to need it.